one of Europe's most historic cities, the Brandenburg Gate, the famous Reichstag. Welcome to Berlin and the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. We look down this fabulous range right in the heart of the city. It's the last chance for the world's very best archers to contest for a place at the World Cup finals in Moscow in September. It's been balmy here all week, but it's a cool and breezy 19 degrees here in Berlin today, and the wind may well play its part today. It's Compound Saturday, and we start with the team medal matches. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me, US archer Crystal Govin. What a lineup we've got today, Crystal.
Yeah, obviously I'm very excited to watch that women's bronze medal final with the U.S. team, but I think the real showdown is going to be that compound men gold medal final.
So we're in Germany's capital city, and we're in the Lilly Henoch Sportplatz, and it's time for the bronze medal match in the women's team compound. Shooting over 50 meters, we look over the famous old train station facade and this beautiful circus-like venue. Take a look at how the teams got to this stage. Of course, losing semi-finalists playoff for bronze. USA versus Germany. USA losing to the buoyant Turkish team in the semi-finals. And another buoyant team, Great Britain, qualifying all places for the Tokyo Olympics recently in Holland. Well, they beat Germany. So it's USA versus Germany for bronze. Already packed out here today, and the Turkish fans in the crowd looking on, waiting for their team to come out a little bit later. Well, it looks like we're almost ready to go for our first medal match here in Berlin. Let's go down to the field of play and welcome the teams out onto the range.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the compound women's team bronze medal match.
Well, Crystal, the teams are coming out here. Great to have the host nation featuring in the first match.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure the fans around here are very happy to see them out here shooting.
And are we going to be able to contain you with your teammates coming out? Alexis Ruiz, Cassidy Cox, Sophie Strachan.
It's going to be tough, but I'll try.
Well, as the teams are presented to the crowd out here, just talk us through how the team format works, how the scoring works.
So team rounds we have 3 archers in the team, as we see here. It's cumulative score, meaning every arrow counts. There's 24 arrows. That's split into 4 ends of 6 arrows, each archer shooting 2 arrows. There's a maximum point score of 240 points. And at the end of the day, team with the most points wins.
Fairly simple in concept, isn't it? Hit the middle of the target more times than your opponent, right?
Exactly.
Easier said than done. Here are the young USA team, ranked #1 in the world, just over a 70% match win average. Cassidy Cox, Sophia Strachan, Alexis Ruiz going up against Christina Heigenhauser, Velia Schall, and Jennifer Wenzel. And our coaches, Oliver Hayden there. And do we know who's out for the USA?
We have Paige Pierce, the 4th compound member, and this is actually her first time not shooting the team round. So girls smartly brought her in to coach behind them.
Steady hand at the tiller, Paige Pierce in the background there with the blonde hair, looking on. USA on target 1. Germany on target 2, and it's the USA who will shoot first for bronze.
Good start for Sophie. She puts a 10x liner down there. That's what this U.S. team really wanted. It's a young team. They are averaging 20 years of age, 19, 20, and 21. So one of the youngest U.S. women's teams we've had. But they're all very experienced on the international stage.
Just off the 10 and 3 cast.
Looks like Cassidy just missed that 10. So they're both on the right-hand side, so I'm guessing they're going to be sharing that information with Alexis. She might make a little bit of adjustment here.
Just a little wince there from the debutante this season. She's had a cracker, though, hasn't she?
Definitely, and we'll see her again this afternoon, so be exciting. And now this German team, on the other hand, is veterans. We have 30, 31-year-old, one younger, but definitely two very experienced archers.
What a cracking start there.
So an 8's gonna hurt. They're not gonna like that. But if Christina puts a 10 here, the match will be all tied up. So.
So both teams shoot their first 3 arrows, but of course it's 6 arrows in this end.
Exactly. So it's alternating. Each team will shoot 3 arrows, 1 arrow each, and then switches back to the other team. So Sophie was in a gold medal match earlier this season.
Yes.
She puts another strong 10 down there.
The exit new. Solid.
So confident.
Let's go, Cass. Strong shot.
Cassidy has many titles to her name on the junior circuit. She's indoor double gold world champion, field silver medalist, and she puts a 10 down there as well. So again, they're young, but they're very experienced on the international stage.
Still a little on the right side, but good. Yes.
Much cleaner shot than her first one.
Yeah, 58 out of a possible 60 for the USA. A great start. Germany can only get to 57 here, so even with a maximum, they'll definitely be trailing after this first end.
She didn't look happy, but put it in the X ring, so.
Thanks, Steve.
Nine.
Rechts hoch.
Total of 58 points for the United States of America after the first end.
Well, there we go, dropping 2 points in the final 3 arrows. Germany trailing by 3 at the conclusion of the first end. A good start for the USA is so important.
Definitely. They were a little upset about the semifinals. They were up against Turkey that just beat all the men on the field. So they were a little frustrated. They had shot well and had to settle for this bronze medal match.
Well, here are the USA arrows. A little bit spread out, to be fair, but mainly in the 10 ring.
Exactly. Saw some correction after those first right arrows and got dialed in.
Yeah, and you're right, they got dialed in, certainly, and they scored 3 10s in their final 3 arrows, and all 3 lining up and looking great. Strachan, Cox, and Ruiz, the teenage debutante. Well, she's actually just turned 20, isn't she?
I think her birthday's later this month, but I'm not positive. I think she's still 19.
Well, apologies to you, Alexis Ruiz, still a teenager. I kind of remember what that's like.
Look at Dougie down there. He's the one that should know how to do the Dougie. I get a free pass.
What on earth is Paige Pierce talking about?
She's talking about U.S. coach Doug, who is the arrow agent down there pulling arrows. So it's become a bit of a joke about how the U.S. team pulls arrows and who's allowed and who's not.
Well, range clear to shoot for the second end of this bronze medal match. Germany trailing by 3 against the USA will shoot first.
Komm, mach deinen Schuss. Entschlossen ziehen.
Nein.
9, knapp raus, links hoch.
My German's not great, but calling that a left arrow, I think.
Jawohl, 10 tief.
That's the 10 that they wanted. They really need that. Christina needs to step up here as the veteran. Great archer. Needs to put a 10 down here. Put some pressure on the U.S. team.
Mit 9, ganz knapp raus, links.
Yep.
10.
So solid 10 from Sophie.
Good.
All 3 of these archers on the U.S. team are attending school and shooting, so both of them, all 3 of them are quite busy.
Nine.
9 to 3. All right. See, that safety clip came in handy. Strong shot, Alexis. Yep.
10. Save.
Full shaft at 9.
Great overhead view of the archer here. I really, as a coach, you love this view.
Komm, entschlossen ziehen. 9 rechts hoch.
Charles just going a little high there into the 9.
Nine.
9 links.
Contrasting actions, isn't it, from the first 2, Charles and Wenzel? That Charles a little bit more takes a time over things. Wenzel quite quick on the release.
Yes, you see compound archers, some really like to aim and really dial that shot in, and others like to get a real quick shot off. So
10. Save.
So another massive opportunity for the USA.
Yes.
and that's a beautiful X.
At 3. Just off at 3. Like a smidgen. It's close. Strong shot, Alexis.
Such a tight unit.
Yes.
Just inside the 10 seconds, but all cool, calm and collected for Alexis Ruiz. The USA dropping just 2 points in the second end. Open up their lead. It's extended to 5 points at the halfway stage. Amazing stuff from this young and confident USA team.
Definitely, they're really on cruise control. You can see it out there. They're just relaxed. They're just shooting their shots. Whereas the German team, you see, they're a little bit more stoic, standing there. Not a lot of camaraderie between them right now.
Germany so trailing by 5.
Yeah, the Germans there, well, they're starting to smile, starting to relax a little bit. But the American team, as you said, so young. Alexis Ruiz, so good in her first season as a debutante here, medaling at every single stage of the World Cup. She shot so well, but not scored a gold medal in the individual, has she?
Yet. She'll have that opportunity this afternoon.
To start that one.
Doing so well there, shooting a 10 to finish things off. And a little bit of a sigh, a little bit of relief.
Yeah, Alexis had some issues the other day with running out of time during the mixed team match. So I know the timing is going to be, if they get low on time, she's going to be feeling those nerves.
All right, girls, strong shots.
Well, we're at the halfway stage here in this bronze medal match on Compound Saturday, and the women's team bronze medal match. Germany trailing by 5, staring down the barrel of the gun at the moment. They'll shoot first in the third end.
So that's not what they needed. They really needed a 10 to start this end.
Sehr gut. 10 links tief. Sehr schön. X.
10.
So Sophie's majoring in linguistics and economics. Fun little fact about her.
Yes.
Uncharacteristically long shot for Sophie, but puts it in the 10 ring.
Strong shot, Cass. Yeah.
Nice shot there from Cassidy Cox. She's got a little bit of a longer process than the other two Americans.
Yeah, so she, Junior World Championships a few years ago, had trouble with her arrow falling off the rest. So she's modified her shot, made sure she comes back nice and slow so she doesn't risk not getting the arrow off.
Yep.
10.
Another perfect 30.
I think we're going to see Alexis Ruiz for years to come. She looks fantastic.
Definitely.
Entschlossen arbeiten.
She works hard, trains a lot, and is really focused.
Jawohl.
10.
Charles again looking disappointed, but landing it right in the center of the target.
Ja, 9 knapp raus, links tief.
It's a nice shot there of watching the archer's feet, because team round, you really have to watch the feet of your teammates and make sure you're not crossing that line until your teammates' feet cross the line in front of you.
Heidenhauser running down the clock.
9 links.
Good grouping for the final 3 arrows from the Germans.
Nine.
Could tell by the look on her face she wasn't happy with where that released. So the key here, we want to watch that clock. It's counting down. We're at 20 seconds right now as Cassidy's coming off the line. So going to be a little bit rushed for Alexis. She'll need to get right on that shot.
But you guys rehearsed this, right? You must go up to the line with, what, 10, 12 seconds to go under pressure?
Yes, the anchor is definitely going to be practicing this on a regular basis.
Yes.
10.
Good 10. And you whack Sophie's
Well,
on the
it's a
way in.
fairly commanding lead for your team here, Crystal.
It went whack.
Yep, pretty exciting. And you see Alexis is very cool under pressure, and
She drilled
she
horse.
just got accepted into nursing school, so all those patients she's going to be treating are going to be happy to know that she can perform well under pressure.
Very good. Well, Velia Charles there, she had a bit of, well, a nightmare at the start of that end. First arrow, look, you saw the grimace there, just pulling right, but look at the recovery. What an incredible recovery there from Charles, and a big smile on her face. It must be wow, a double-edged sword really for the Germans, competing in front of the home crowd, but then that extra expectation as well.
Definitely, there's always that pressure on the home court. You love to have the fans, but there's definitely extra pressure that you want to perform, especially in a bronze medal match, because you know you lose the match and you're walking home with no medal.
Well, it's early doors here in Berlin on Saturday morning. Brisk breeze in the air, but the crowd starting to fill out here and looking forward to supporting this German team in the final end of the bronze medal match.
And another 8 for her. I think that's her third one of the match. That's very surprising to me. She's been a very consistent shooter over the years, so surprised to see this in a finals match from her.
Well, clearly there'd been some discussion between the two athletes there. One going high and right. The height was perfect for Wenzel, but just a bit left. And there's the perfect one. One right, one left, one down the middle.
Yeah, Christina's one of my favorite archers to shoot with. Great competitor, but just a really great person, and she's overcome a lot to come back to the sport after some health issues, so great to see her back in the finals match.
9.
Pressure's all off here for the USA, isn't it?
Yeah, at this point, they just need to stay in the yellow, and they all know how to do that.
Strong shot, Cass.
Nine.
Grouping amazing.
You hear Paige laughing at him.
Give her another click to the right, Cass. You haven't missed one left yet. Good girl.
10. 10.
Well, just on the line, getting a 10 there. There's your favourite shot, Crystal.
Yep.
Komm entschlossen ziehen.
Really great to see that body position, the shoulders. You see with a compound, it forms a triangle versus being a straight line like a recurve archer.
9.
Well, just 1 point ahead, the Germans, but they've had one extra arrow. This is all about pride now.
10.
Nice shot. Called a 10, marked as a 9 asterisk, which means it will go to a measure. Doesn't really make too much of a difference at this point, though.
No, but they're going to want that 10 just for pride.
Heigenhauser.
Saw a little bit of a shake in her hand right before the shot went off, so I'm not sure what happened there, but...
Well, a 2:20 to finish for the Germans. The USA, well, they'd have to drop the ball in a big way here not to walk away with the bronze medal.
Yes.
10. 10.
She did what she needed to do.
All right, Cass. Strong shot.
So they need 8 points out of the last 2 arrows.
And we get to look at this beautiful process from Cassidy Cox.
Yeah.
Right on top of Sophie's arrow.
All right, Alexis.
guess those clicks that Paige told her to put in her
Strong
sight
shot,
worked.
girl, you got it. 19 seconds.
Hey, she should hang up her bow.
Nine.
Debutante on the podium again here on the Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit. Alexis Ruiz, Cassidy Cox,
231.
and Sophia Strachan take the bronze for the USA. It was a game German team, but the USA came out strongly and followed it through to win 231 to 220. Your thoughts on that brilliant match from the USA? Let's face it, this young team, bags of confidence, but bags of talent.
Exactly, and it was, you know, it's always sad to see a one-sided match, but I'm not complaining as a fan of the U.S. And there's Coach Doug that I was talking about earlier, pulling the arrows we see on the left side.
Paige Pierce doing her job there on the left-hand side, saying she's honoured. She was honoured to be part of this foursome that have taken bronze in Berlin.
Yeah, we were talking at breakfast about how it's much more nerve-wracking being in that coach's box where you have no control than shooting that match yourself.
Brilliant performance from the USA. Great to see Germany on the home range here in Berlin.
We will move on shortly with the next match.
Well, it was a great start from the USA, finishing the first end with 3 10s, well, 2 10s and an X from Ruiz. And Ruiz absolutely on stunning form all season. The relief on her face with the pressure on her, having performed so well throughout the World Cup circuit. That 8, though, showing the nerves from the Germans. Ruiz, so solid, so composed for a teenager. High fives all around Cassidy Cox, Sophia Strachan, and Alexis Ruiz high-fiving their coach and teammate, Paige Pierce, as they march their way to the bronze medal here in Berlin. Well, we look out on this beautiful stadium here. It's a multi-event space here in Berlin. It's a bit of a traveling venue. The gold medal match is now up in the compound women's team event, shooting over 50 meters here in Berlin. It's time to find out who will be the champions in Berlin. Take a look at how the two teams got here. Turkey, we know, are a strong team, beating the USA in the semi-finals, but it's a buoyant Great Britain, having qualified every single place in the quota for Tokyo 2020, who will be their opponents for gold here in Berlin. So the teams are ready to compete here. Bostan Tomruk and Elma Achli up against Gibson, Moon and Corliss. Let's go down to the range and welcome them out here in Berlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the athletes to the field for the compound women's team gold medal match.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heißen Sie die Athleten für das Goldfinale der Compound-Damen-Teams willkommen.
Well, on target 2, it's Great Britain.
On target number 2, representing Great Britain.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 2 aus Großbritannien.
Susan Corliss.
Ranked 8th in the world, under a 50% average on wins. A little bit of a surprise to be here in this gold medal match, but riding on a high after their results at the World Championships in Holland just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely. We see their recurve team is doing phenomenal, and I think that's spreading to their compound team. We see both Great Britain compound teams making finals matches this weekend.
Well, you have to say they are the strong favourites. Turkey, known for its amazing archery. And it's a really strong lineup. Look, let's put aside the fact that El Magakli and Tomruk are there. Yes, Boston, she's incredible.
Definitely, Yasim's been shooting amazing all week, especially in the wind. Saw her match against Paige in the quarterfinals and saw their team match against US in the semis. So this team has been shooting great. Can't wait to watch what they can do here in this finals venue.
Shooting first on target number 2. Great.
British coach looking on there. Now, we're used to seeing Priestley in the box, and he's done some great things for the World Archery Federation, but one of the younger coaches in for GB.
Yeah, definitely changing of the guard maybe, but see how he handles that pressure behind them.
And the Turks have got their young coach in as well. So this for gold here in Berlin. The Compound Women's Team event here on Compound Saturday.
Shot.
Good sighter for Gibson.
Just out on the left.
Just like you do, Susan. Nice and strong, nice and steady. Right in on that 10, keep working the shot.
You see release in her mouth as she's waiting to go. We see that sometimes out of archers in team round because it is very limited time and they feel like it's faster than reaching into their pouch to pick up their release. They can just grab it quickly from their mouth and go.
Keep working it. You've got this. Keep working it.
Yes, Sarah. Shot.
9-10-9er.
It's in.
9-1-10.
So we see Yasim, unlike the Americans, Yasim, the anchor, strongest member of the team, is actually starting out first instead of going last. Looks like a smart decision as she puts an X down there. Give her teammates something to aim at. It seemed to have worked.
İpek gergin kal. Ortada bekleyerek yumuşak dokun tetiğe. Bravo.
9.
Çok yakın.
Good grouping from the Turkish team. The asterisk on the third arrow from Great Britain means it was subject to a measure. I think that will stay as a 9 though. Gibson back on the line.
Yeah, it was good 10. Good 10.
Solid shot. She's going to be happy with that. Good comeback from her opening shot.
Nice and steady, nice and strong. Just like you do. Just make your shot. Just keep doing your thing. Keep working it. Keep pulling through. You've got this, girl. Keep at it.
So you hear the teammate in the background there talking her teammate through the process. Sometimes you hear the coach, but a lot of times in team round you actually hear the next archer is going to be talking to the archer on the line.
Keep your pressures going. Keep pulling through. Keep working your shot. Right in on the middle. You've got this.
Yeah, good 10.
And it worked with another 10.
Yeah, and it's all the sort of, it sounds repetitive and you think, well, what difference is this going to make? But it's almost like a comfort blanket, isn't it?
Exactly. Yep. Just hearing that same thing. It's just like at home. You're not out in front of millions of people.
Bravo.
Just doing your thing.
Well, here we can hear the Turkish coach on a Bektas, well known
Gergin kal.
in the archery
Ortada
field.
bekleyerek.
My Turkish isn't that great, but I'm pretty sure he's saying the same sort of thing. Stay calm, stay cool, put it down the middle.
Çok emin.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. And we see Yasim now is closing out the match. So again, teams can change the order. So she started the end and she's going to finish the end.
Chance for a 3-point lead here.
Bravo.
Puts it into the 10 and gets that 3-point lead. And it will be Teşekkür ederim for Una Bektas. Thank you very much, says the Turkish coach. Simon Scott on the other side for Great Britain. Well, he wasn't here at the start of the week. The British team did so well, they decided to fly him out for the final.
Not a bad gig.
As soon as the cameraman gets out of the way, I'll tell you.
Dort wird jetzt gerade vorne an der Schale überprüft, ob das nicht vielleicht doch eine 10 ist.
Well, we just caught Simon Scott there, giving the ladies an idea of where that arrow shot. But yes, Boston looking fairly confident, and really she is the sort of the talisman for the Turkish team.
Definitely, she's been unbelievable the last couple of years, been trading #1 in the world with Sarah Lopez, so lots of experience on the stage and just really calm under pressure.
Great Britain will resume competition. Great Britain was qualified as third, while Turkey was fifth. 28 points were the difference in the whole qualification. Let's see what's happening.
Well, Boston, as you mentioned, Crystal, changed the order. She went first and last, but no real difference in where the arrows ended up.
Nope, all in the middle.
What a great captain, in inverted commas, for the Turkish team. A great start from them as well. They lead by 2 after that measure. Put Great Britain up by a point. Great Britain to shoot first. And it's Ella Gibson on the shooting line.
Yeah, good turn.
10.
Alright, Sarah, just like you, tons and tons of time, just make your great shot. That's it. Nice and steady, right in on that turn. Keep coming through, keep working it, keep going. Oh, you got this.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful shot.
And it's Gibson who's the one that's providing the direction, isn't she? She's very, very calm.
Yeah, and she's actually the youngest member of that team, so you see the team leader doesn't necessarily have to be the oldest person or the most experienced person. Sometimes it's just the person who has that calming voice for the rest of the team.
9 gleich mit 10.
And it's a process-driven game, archery, and you see how it's different strokes for different folks. No one solution fits all. The Great Britain team talking to each other throughout all the shots. Turkey, very calm, and it's just the coach with 1 or 2 words every now and again.
Exactly, everybody needs something different, and you'll see some archers, even on the same team, want a very loud, aggressive coach, and another archer may want very quiet, and they want to be in their head.
Strong front arm. Keep pulling through the shots. Like you do.
9.
It's good. Just down.
9.
7 o'clock. Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, Susan, you got this.
So that measure on the first arrow for Turkey could be crucial in this end, but Turkey in the box seat still.
Yes, Susan. Good X.
So
Great
after
shot.
2 left 9s, coach told her to make an adjustment, and she did, and put it right in the middle.
Steady, nice and relaxed.
He earned his airline fare then, Simon Scott.
8.
Dropping that one low and to the right. The first arrow that's been significantly lower than the yellow ring for either team here.
Yeah, a lot of times in compound you see that when an archer just gives up a little on that front arm, you see them fall out the bottom like that.
Bravo.
9.
But it's a long week, isn't it, for you guys? You have to compete right the way through from Monday all the way through the week. And of course, you're not just competing in team, you're competing in mixed team, potentially individual tournaments as well.
Yeah, and especially in that wind, it starts to beat up your body when you're fighting against those wind gusts over and over and over again. You start to feel muscles that you hadn't felt before.
Şimdi sağ tarafı iyi otur. Gergin kal.
Misses 10.
Bravo X.
Just jinxed her there.
Well, it was marked as a 9 asterisk, has been marked up to a 10. The Turkish first arrow will also be subject to a measure. I wonder if we're going to get down to the end of the range and hear the target judge on that 9.
X10-9. X9-9. Okay. Okay. X10-9. X10-8. X9-8.
Bit of a correction there from the target judge, but I think that Turkish arrow might well have been marked up.
I think it was a 9. Yes, yes, it was called a 9.
Well, a 57 is enough to increase their lead, and confirmed after 2 ends of this gold medal match. Turkey leading by 3 against Great Britain.
No surprise here, 3-point lead for Turkey at this point, but as we've seen all week, if we get some gusts of wind, anything can change and we could have a reversal here.
Well, we see Yesin Boston there looking on. She has been the sort of anchor, I suppose, the lead player for the Turkish team. How do they choose their order? Would it be Boston who makes that call, or is it the coach, or do they discuss it amongst the team?
It's really team dependent. Every country has their own rules, has their own process. Here in the U.S. team, it's really up to the team members to make that decision. They can consult coaches, get some opinions if there's a disagreement, which been part of those before, but really you really want to look at who's got the fastest shot, who can get a shot off, you know, if the time's running down, who shoots a slower shot, things like that.
Well, at start of the 3rd end here, Great Britain trailing, shooting first, 2 9s to get them off the mark.
You also see some people actually like to go first with the clean target with no arrows in it. They like to see that nice clean face. Other people don't like to see the clean face and would rather have arrows downrange to aim at. So definitely individual preference.
Sağ tarafı yol tükeş. Gergin kal. Rüzgar artı dikkatli ol.
We see the wind flags picking up a little bit in the background there. And we see 2 left 9s by the Turkey team.
Gergin kal İpek. Ortada durmaya çalış. Bravo.
Looks like they gave feedback to their 3rd team member and she was able to put a 10 down there.
Yeah, and we have talked about the wind over the past couple of days, and it has played a big part here. We were expecting overcast and blustery conditions today, but actually it's turned out pretty calm.
Yeah, it's a lot calmer than I think any of these archers were expecting after the week we've had.
Strong, Susan. Keep going, Susan. Make your shot nice and steady. Keep pulling through.
And with the compound archers in particular, that can really mess with your head. After all week of fighting against that wind, it changes your shot, and you really have to find center again.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, technically it's easier if the wind's calm, right?
Technically.
Keep working it. Right hand
9.
So 9 to finish, and a 1-6-6 after 3 ends. And another opportunity for the Turkish team to extend their lead.
Bravo. Okay.
Crystal, it's interesting for me because, look, the Turkish team seem very clear and very focused and determined on what their job is here. But perhaps the British team have
Ortada
got an
beklemeye
eye on
çalış.
something else? World
oldum.
Youth Championships, for example, for
Aferin.
Ella Gibson. She's heading off to Madrid in August for those championships. Perhaps she's thinking about medals there. Sarah Moon going straight on to the Universiade
Şimdi sağ tarafı
in Naples
otursun.
as well.
Gergin kal.
Yeah, actually, Cassidy Cox and Amy Jung from the U.S. are both heading out tomorrow for that as well. So quite a few archers here, I think, heading to those youth events. We're seeing younger archers shooting on the world stage at the senior level. So they're really doing double duty between all the tournaments this summer.
Turkey, though, completely focused here, still leading by 7 points. This is done and dusted, right?
Basically, unless something happens, they can shoot all nines and still walk away with the win.
Dreimal davon hat Großbritannien gewonnen und die Türkei einmal.
See the coach there checking the arrows. That's something a good coach is going to do before they hand back the arrows to the archers. They're going to check, make sure no veins are coming off, no damage knocks from getting hit, anything like that.
Ona Bektis there, the Turkish coach, as we look on to the British team. All smiles, relaxed, not looking so nervy. Glad to be here. I suppose in some respects you're guaranteed the silver medal, so you're going to be on the podium once you get to the gold medal match. So is it a case of, you know, we've made it this far, we can just relax and enjoy ourselves?
It definitely can have that feeling. I know, depends on the team, and I think this Great Britain team, it's a less experienced team than some of the other teams out there, so I think for them, just making this match was a huge win for them, and I think they're just excited to be there.
Well, trailing by 7 points, Great Britain will shoot first on target 2, and up steps Ella Gibson.
Shoot your shot. Strong front arm. Tighten with the anchor and keep pulling through the shots.
Yes, spotted.
Beautiful X.
Make that great shot. That's it. Nice and steady. Right in on the turn. Keep working through. You got this. Just make your shot.
9.
9.
Typical.
Nice and steady. Nice and strong. That's it. Keep your pressures going. Keep pulling through. Keep working the shot. You got this.
Yeah. On the spot.
Hitting her teammate's arrow right in the middle.
Yeşim sağ tarafı iyi otursun. Gergin kal. Bravo.
Pure focus from Yasin Bostan, and straight down into the 10 again.
You see she's using an index trigger release. Somewhat uncommon on the world stage, but seeing more and more. Paige Pierce shoots one, and some of the other top shooters. But Turkey definitely seems to favor those releases, as does some of the Russian shooters.
Bravo.
Good grouping there from the Turkish team, matching Great Britain, and that's all they need to do. In fact, they can afford to drop points. They're that far ahead.
Strong front arm. Tight into the anchor and keep pulling through the shots.
Yeah, good 10.
If she finished the match, she's going to be happy. She finished with an X and a 10. That's a good way. Gives you a lot of confidence going in to future match play.
Right in on the middle. Nice and steady. Nice and strong. Keep pulling through. Just make your shot. You've got this, girl. Keep working it.
7.
Just dropping low there, perhaps the fatigue starting to play its part.
Saw the grimace on her face. I'm guessing the pin probably dropped right as she was releasing, and at that point it's too late to do anything.
Keep pulling through. Keep working. You've got this.
8, 9, 9, and 9. 9.
So a 59 possible for Turkey. Very much have room to maneuver. They could do this in 2 arrows, and they've got 3 to shoot.
Bravo.
Good start.
Yep. That's what you want. You want to come out and just keep the pedal down.
Ferdig pek.
So we know it's going to
Gergen kal. Ortada
be
bekle.
Boston who will
Emin olunca.
shoot the last arrow.
Bravo.
That last arrow means nothing. This one's just for fun.
Time to tickle the
Sağ tarafı
spider.
yapıyorsun Yeşim. Gergin kal.
So reach up and touch that arrow. It might have been starting to fall off the rest, but knew what to do and puts a 10 down there.
Great stuff from Turkey. Yesim Boston finishes the job off for them, but Gezim Almaakli and Ipek Tomruk played their part in a superb gold medal winning performance for the Turkish team.
We see the Turkish fans celebrating in the stands. They're happy to see their teammates taking the gold.
Also, die haben ein richtig starkes Ding da geschossen, die Türkinnen. Herzlichen Glückwunsch zu Gold an die Türkei, meine Damen und Herren. Das ist nochmal einen großen Applaus wert.
Brilliant stuff there. Simon Scott flown out to support the British team, shaking hands with the trio from Turkey who've taken gold here in Berlin on Compound Saturday.
Wir sagen natürlich auch herzlichen Glückwunsch und Dankeschön für einen spannenden Wettkampf an Großbritannien.
Crystal, they came in with bags of confidence, didn't they? And they really did show why they are one of the world's very best teams.
Definitely. I mean, the U.S. women are ranked #1 in the world, but I expect this Turkey team to have a bright future. They're really coming on strong, and off the success Yasim's had, I think the other girls are gaining confidence as well, and we're going to see more from them for sure.
Well, great stuff from Great Britain too as well, making it through to the gold medal match. Just a bit too much from the Turkish team in that medal match. Sees Great Britain with silver. Well, here we see the, well, not so much unique, but it seems a little peculiar holding your release aid in your mouth.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, quite. Sarah Moon there kept that release in her mouth throughout. But yes, in Boston, wow, she was incredible. 2 10s, leading out, shooting the first arrow and shooting the last arrow in each of the ends, and really providing a huge amount of support to the Turkish team. But you have to say, Elma Hackley and Tomruk were great.
Definitely, this team worked great together. Beautiful, beautiful match from them.
Yeah, and the pressure really showed for Great Britain, dropping into the 7 there for Moon. And then the response from the Turks was great. The 3 9s at the third end, the first 3 arrows, really showing the pressure. Ella Gibson was the talker amongst the British team. But really, it was Yesim Boston who held the line for the Turkish team. High fives all around. They've taken the gold medal here in the women's team compound. Well, the sun is starting to come out here as we look in the beautiful facade of the old train station here. And here is the final rankings for the compound women's team event. Turkey taking gold here in Berlin from a strong and young Great Britain team. They'll be on the podium on the second step. And it was the USA who were the star performers here in Germany against Germany in the bronze medal match. Well, the sun just barely poking its head out here in Berlin. And you can just see the windsock there on the left-hand side of the screen. It's pointing downwards, but just blowing around. And that's the women's teams done, but coming up very shortly, it's the men's team finals. Well, there are the 4th placed German team looking on, looking a little disdained.
Yeah, nothing worse than having to sit in the stands during the medal match after shooting in a medal match.
Yeah, and losing twice, losing in the semi-finals and then picking things up for the bronze medal match, but not quite enough against the USA. But it is time for the medals here in Berlin. Let's go back down to the range.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the compound women team.
Meine Damen und Herren, es folgt die Siegerehrung für Compound Damen Team.
Medals will be presented by World Archery Secretary General
Die Medaillen werden übergeben vom Generalsekretär der World Archery.
Tom Dillon. Gifts will be presented by Vice President Sport of the German Shooting Sport and Archery Federation.
Die Präsente werden übergeben vom Vizepräsidenten Sport des Deutschen Schützenbundes.
Gerhard Fournier. Bronze medal representing United States of America.
Die Bronzemedaille aus den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika.
Keep an eye on this team. They're young, they're vibrant, extremely strong. I've got plenty of years to come. Alexis Ruiz there in the middle, flanked by Cassidy Cox and Sophia Strachan, being presented with their medals by the Secretary General of World Archery, Tom Dillon.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Congratulations.
Well, the bears seem to be a bit of a feature here in Berlin, so quite fitting that that's the gift here at the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. And it's Gerhard Fournier, the Vice President of German Shooting Sport, handing out the Berlin Bears.
Silver medal representing Great Britain.
Die Silbermedaille aus Großbritannien.
Hats off to the British team. One of the very few countries to have qualified positions in every single possible place in the Olympic quota for Tokyo 2020. Riding on the crest of the wave, made the gold medal match here in Berlin, but were just undone by a very, very strong Turkish team. Great Britain takes silver. Ella Gibson, Sarah Moon, and Suzanne Corliss.
Sarah Moon.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Danke.
Gold medal representing Turkey.
Die Goldmedaille aus der Türkei.
The favourites tag is sometimes a massive burden, but not for this Turkish team. Yesim Boston was calmness personified as she led her teammates Ipek Tomruk and Gezim Al-Marachli to gold here in Berlin. Turkey on top of the podium here in Berlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Turkey.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte erheben Sie sich für die Nationalhymne der Türkei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte geben Sie alle unseren Athleten einen herzlichen Applaus.
Well, there we go. Turkey taking gold here in Berlin in the women's team compound from a buoyant Great Britain, who just were pipped at the post in the gold medal match. The USA were confident in their victory over Germany for bronze. Our first medals concluded here in Germany. Well, we look down this beautiful range here on Compound Saturday. And it is quite amazing making your team for one World Cup. It's just a real honour. Attending 50 is something special, and just 3 archers have done just that.
I've been to 51 World Cups and nobody has outrun me on that. Well, I started shooting the international way before there was the World Cup. So I was on from day one. And the first World Cup in was Santo Domingo or something. What year I can't remember. Too long time ago.
Me, Peter Martin, we know so well this world, and we know very well each other. So there's sometimes, some years, some season that I saw much more them than my brother that lives 2 floors over me. So that's strange sometimes.
That's bizarre, because at first when I shot the World Cup final, it was still on 70 meters. Then it changed to a set system, a hit-miss system, and now to 50 meters. But the level is still rising and rising.
I remind only few pros. Now you can see in every country you can find some pros. So I think that the difference is a lot.
Being the newbie, then when it all started going in there, I wanted to win, wanted to do all of it, wanted to be on top all the time. Still wanted to win, still want to compete at the highest level, but maybe on a little bit more laid-back path.
When you're starting archery on this circuit and being in the World Cups, you're happy that you're there and you're just living the moment. But in the meantime, you're getting older. The more important those medals become for yourself, for your personally, and that making it harder as well. So these days, I'm trying to just maintain my focus and be as positive as I can and just making the memories again.
Well, I'm gonna fight for my spot as long as I can. I like being out here. I haven't done anything else, so that's what I know of, and I keep coming back as much as I can.
As I suggest to the new archers, every time you take your bow, it's a moment, it's a different day. And so breathe your moment, stay on the shooting line and shoot. With a lot of competition, you can understand which kind of position you can take in this world, and maybe you can do better.
Well, I'd take 1 World Cup. How many have you done?
To be honest, I don't know. I'd have to count that, but nowhere near their 50, I can tell you that.
Amazing stuff from those 3 archers. Time now for the bronze medal match in the men's team event here on Compound Saturday. Shooting over 50 meters, who is going to take the medals here in Berlin? Losing semi-finalists, as always, compete for the bronze medal. And it looks like the German crowd will be entertained again. Germany beating India in the quarterfinals before losing to France in the semi-finals, take on the USA. It's rinse and repeat on compound Saturday. Germany against the USA for bronze in the men's team event. What do you reckon, Crystal? Should we go down to the field of play and welcome the teams out?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the compound men's team bronze medal match.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heißen wir die Athleten für das Bronzefinale der Compound Herren-Teams willkommen.
On target number 2, representing the United States of America.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 2 aus den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika.
Well, here they are, the USA, a very strong team indeed, just under an 85% match win average, shooting a 9.44 average arrow. Gelantine, Schaff and Sullivan are a mighty force for the USA.
And their opponents are walking in.
Und hier kommen die Herausforderer und jetzt Berlin.
The home crowd can add pressure, but not for this German team. A bit of a surprise to make it through to the medal matches here. It's Markus Laub, Marcel Treschel and Lars Klingener.
On target number 1, representing Germany.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 1 aus Deutschland.
Lars Klingner. Markus Laube.
Crystal, world ranked number 15, 37.5% average match win, but they're here in Germany in front of the home crowd. What do you reckon?
I'm
sure they're very excited to be shooting in this match and can't wait to see what they can do.
And shooting first on target number 1.
And we see Tate Morgan, again, the men's compound 4th team member standing in the coach's box. It's again something that the U.S. compound team has traditionally done. They allow that 4th shooter to feel a part of the team by coaching in the coaching's box.
And Oliver Hayden there again out on the field of play for the German team. No pressure on the Germans. I mean, they are the massive underdogs in this one, right?
Definitely. I think they're just going to be out there enjoying themselves in front of the home crowd, and that may allow them to be much more relaxed and shoot really well.
Well, they get to shoot first. Germany up on the shooting line for bronze here against the USA.
Eight.
So that's a rough way to start the match in a team round. You definitely want that first arrow to be a good one.
Ten.
10.
12 Uhr, Marcel. Auf der Linie.
Not a bad grouping, though.
No, we saw the first 2 archers were a little high, and as we all know, you can be on the practice range perfectly sighted in and then step out on the finals field and just different sun, different wind can be a little off. So great adjustment by the 3rd archer to put that one right in the middle.
Yeah,
Now, look at that. Chris Schaff getting the USA off to the perfect start. Maddie Sullivan up on the line now.
We saw Braden asking him where he was aiming, get that information right next to his first. And we have Braden anchoring the team. He's the most decorated archer on the World Cup stage, has the most medals of any archer in history.
9.
Well, if you thought the Germans' grouping was good, just take a look at the USA's.
10.
Made the correction he needed to after that first arrow, so that's good to see.
Zehn.
Just off 9. Great angle to see how Chris's front foot, you actually see, is in front of his back foot. A very unique stance compared to most compound archers who have that front foot behind the back foot.
You really get to see the solid structure that the archers create with that overhead shot, don't you? They have to be so still.
Exactly. Compound is really about being strong and holding that bow as still as you can to aim and put it in the middle.
9. 58-57 after the first end. Finally 1 point lead for the USA on Germany.
Also, das ist ja schon mal eine ganz enge Kiste hier. Guter Start von beiden Teams. Deutschland 57 Ringe.
Well, the line judge there looking on as the arrows are retrieved. Germany off to, well, a difficult start. I think you phrased it slightly differently with that high left 8, but then they dialed right into the centre. 4 10s in a row, followed by a 9. Not a bad score from them, but trailing by 1. The USA's first 3 arrows were absolutely spot on as a grouping, but then 1 going high and right.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristic by Braden there with 2 9s to open the match, but I expect him to dial that right in, and I expect to see 10s out of him the rest of the match.
Well, that first arrow from the Germans at 8, well, here we see it. Just going high and left, but they found 4 10s to follow up, and the recovery from the Germans was remarkable. I'd say, and you're here to correct me, of course, Crystal, I think the Germans would be quite happy with that first end.
Definitely, to come back, follow up that 8 with 4 10s, that shows they're not letting the nerves get to them. They're out here to win this thing.
Don't often see the USA team stumbling for words, but they're a little quiet.
Yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I? Your teammates here are going to be listening back to this. They're going to go, Crystal, you were naughty, you're saying naughty things about us. No, but they are very quiet, right?
Yeah, the team this year has been a little bit more reserved than some of the past U.S. men's teams we've seen, you know, doing shark dances and coming off the line, screaming and yelling. This is a different team than we've had on the men's side for sure.
Well, they're leading by 1, so Germany will shoot first in the second end.
10.
A good start for them. They're going to be happy with that. That's going to boost the confidence for second and third archer.
Klinger shooting an 8 to start things off for Germany. Has dialed into the centre.
9.
Centimeter over 12 uur, Juba.
Trauscher will be happy with that, as will the German coach. Hayden looking on.
So it's going to be key to watch the time here. They got 64 seconds for the second half, so they're right about at half for time, but could become an issue if one of them slows down in that second arrow.
Bit of a long hold there from Chris Schaff, but shooting it down the middle.
Looked like it was just off.
About quarter shot.
So Braden's really going to need a 10 here. Just for his confidence.
9.
It's creeping up into the 9 to the USA match Germany. That's all they need to do. In fact, they've dropped a point, so it's all level on points. 3 arrows for each team.
We did see Braden click in his sight. His last 2 arrows were high, so gave it a couple clicks. Expect to see the next one in the middle.
9.
A little grimace there from Klinger. Such is the quality. A 9 is disappointing for these teams.
9.
Yeah, as a compound archer, you're not happy with a 9. That's for sure. Great group, just all high.
Yeah.
So we see the last 6 arrows by both teams have all been on the high side, either 9s or 10s. So might be a little bit changing conditions out there. So which team makes the adjustment quicker is going to see the results.
Yes. Just in at 9. Just in 9.
So we hear Tate calling that arrow in.
As Galantine found the middle.
Yeah. Yes, he has.
Yeah.
That's an X. He's going to be happy with that. You see the smile of relief.
Yeah. It's hard to hide your emotions on the shooting line, isn't it?
Definitely. Especially in front of that photographer.
No. I can't even. Well, it was clear before.
Well, Galantine, normally the star player for the USA, had a bit of a cagey start, shooting a couple of 9s, and then came out for this second end and shot another 9. But you spotted it, Crystal. He made an adjustment. What's he doing after this 9? You will see him make the adjustment. Tell everybody what's going on here.
So we see the look on his face, and he knew it was a good shot. It broke in the middle, so when it landed high, he makes the adjustment on his sight, which it's going to bring that arrow down, and as we saw, brought it right back into the X-ring.
Right, so you say he made a good shot. Just to explain to perhaps the newer audience members to archery, you mean the execution, what he went through, his process, he was happy with, so it was just about aim, right?
Exactly. As a compound archer, you know when that arrow is going in the middle, you know where your sight pin is, so sometimes you may shoot a great shot, but your sight pin may not be in the middle when the shot broke. He was confident that sight pin was in the middle, and he executed well. And so when it wasn't in the middle, he knew it was a sight adjustment necessary.
We've talked about the conditions, every World Cup event. Here, during the week, we were talking about the wind. Today, it was predicted to be overcast and a little windy, but there's nothing. There's not even the slightest of breeze.
No, and I think we're going to see which archers were able to maintain their shot throughout the week. They're going to come out here when it's calm and not windy, and they're going to see success versus the archers that maybe changed up their timing, changed the way they executed their shot. They're going to struggle out here in this calm conditions, I have a feeling.
Start of the third end of this bronze medal match. Germany to shoot first. Oh, that's a long hold.
It was, but he puts it in the 10 ring, and his teammates are going to have time to pick up, but looks like they're shooting pretty quick shots that I don't think time's going to be an issue for them.
10.
Just what they need.
They know they need to shoot 10s if they're going to have a chance to pick those 3 points back up against this American team.
9.
Well, all good on the vertical, all in a straight line pretty much.
Yeah, just a little left on that shot, so not sure if that's where his pin was or what happened, but good executed shot, I would assume.
It's super close. It's right on the line. I think it's good. You're in that, like, the same spot as Matt was, but on the other target. I want to say you're good. Yeah.
Beautiful. Taking out the spider there by Matt.
Let me hang in there. Jeez, bro.
Getting a bit of grief there from Morgan. Didn't fist bump quick enough there, Crystal.
Nope. Tate's not going to let him off the hook. His job out there is to keep these guys entertained.
You're right side, 5 o'clock. Yeah, I put it right side.
Unlike the women that you see a lot of coaching going on and instruction and calming, the U.S. compound men, the job of the coach is just to keep them having fun and loose and enjoying themselves. They don't like the coach to talk archery.
Ten.
Beide Pfeile in der gleichen Richtung. Auf 1 Uhr. Lars.
Chance to put the pressure on here for the Germans. A 10 would be the order of the day.
So we see that clock ticking down, but gets the shot off and solid 10.
So, subject to the first arrow being measured for the USA, they can only match Germany here. Any drop points and the Germans will be closing the gap.
Yeah.
Chris has been on fire in this match. I don't think he's dropped a point yet. He's leading them off the way they want.
Oh, just that 9, that first arrow from Schaff of this end, subject to a measure.
Yeah, good one, Matty. 4 shots to 10.
And you know what? I think that will be marked up as a 10, that first arrow.
So plenty of time. We saw him draw back with 23 seconds on the clock, and he sends it. Great 10.
So, level on scores in this end. But, well, I think that 9 marked with an asterisk is going to be marked up to a 10. Let's listen to the target judge.
It's 1. X 10 9. 10 10 9. Target 2. X 10 9. X 10 10.
So it does get marked up. They gain a point, so they now have a 4-point lead.
Well, it's not like they need any luck, is it? Very strong team. And you're saying that they like to stay chilled, Tate Morgan, well, throwing down the gauntlet there, saying, you left me high and dry, man, on the fist bump. They are a chilled out team, very relaxed. And look, they're super athletes, but let me tell you a little secret. I saw Mr. Galantine at lunchtime yesterday. Guess what he had?
Braden likes good food, so I don't know.
A doner kebab.
Yeah, we joke on the U.S. team, if you want to eat well at these tournaments, follow the compound men. They'll lead you to good food.
Well, I can't tell a lie. It was a good doner kebab. Germany here trading by 4, coming into the 4th end. They've got a lot of work to do, and they've got to hope that the USA drop some points.
Ooh, that could have been disastrous there. We saw him come off the wall and have to pull back and managed to save it for a 9.
Schönes X.
The German team really needs all 10s here to have any chance. And they really have to hope for a big mistake by the U.S. team.
10.
Well, not bad. 29 out of a potential 30 for the Germans.
Yeah, good one.
Another X by Chris. He's been so dominant in this match. And we'll see him later this afternoon in individual bronze medal.
Yeah. 2 shots in 10. Yeah, good one.
Braden puts an X down there. So great end by the Americans. Perfect 30. They pick up another point on that end.
Yeah, you're.
So 5-point lead with 3 arrows left. The German team says we're not going out quietly.
No, it's the toughest position to finish in for me, 4th.
Definitely.
9 opening the door again for the USA. On for a perfect 60. 1 more arrow.
So again, at this point, it's just for pride. You want to finish on a 10. You want to feel like you ended the match on a positive note. And he does.
Yeah,
Great
perfect
shot.
stuff. Marcus Laub finishing on a 10. But the USA can finish with the perfect 60. Chris Schaff, can he make it all 10s in this bronze medal match?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, close though.
You got them all.
And you hear Tate say, you got them all. Just off for him, but at this point, 9, they're happy with 9s. They just want to keep it in the yellow. Nothing stupid.
And
6
Matty
to win.
Sullivan's played his part, hasn't he? Really
Definitely.
has done well.
There's a little bit of wind on that one.
Galantine only needs a 6.
Straight right.
Scores a 9. And the USA have taken bronze here. Galantine perhaps with the dodgy start by his very, very high standards. But with Matty Sullivan performing so well and a perfect score from Chris Schaff, the USA were just too good for Germany.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We're going to see Braden and Chris back out here in that bronze medal match this afternoon, and we saw their shots in this match. Definitely a big difference. So who can come out this afternoon and do what they need to do?
Well, there they are. Matty Sullivan, Chris Schaff, Braden Galantine. Tate Morgan taking the coach's role for this medal match. The USA have taken bronze here in Berlin at the Hyundai Archery World Cup, Stage 4.
And not only did they take the bronze, but they're going to be happy to say they beat the women. There's always a nice ice cream bet on the line between the men and the women's team, so this time it goes to the men.
Heart goes out to the German team. Commiserations to them. They won't be picking up any medals here in Berlin, but at least they got a chance to shine on the stage here, the German capital. Well, the USA and Braden Galantine had a fairly comfortable ride of it. The 8 to start things off for the Germans was followed up in quick measure by 4 10s. The Germans came out to play and they put down a marker very early on. Galantine, well, he had a bit of a dodgy start by his standards. But 3 9s from the Germans in that second end. Open the door right up. Looking down on that amazing tattoo that Chris Schaff has on his drawing arm. Great shot of the overhead there. Solid stance for Schaff. He shot 10s throughout the match. He was the most valuable archer for the USA. And what is he talking about, that ice cream, Crystal, that he's going to be getting later on?
Yeah, I see them pointing at the girls. That's where they're looking. The girls were sitting in the stands right there, and they know they just won the ice cream bet.
And there are the ladies. Paige Pierce on the right there with Alexis Ruiz, Cassidy Cox.
Sophie was in the middle. I think Alexis might be getting ready for her next match coming up this afternoon.
Well, coming up now, it's the gold medal match in the compound men's team event. Looking down this beautiful range of the Anna Halter old train station facade. Let's take a look at how the two teams got to this stage. Well, we know the Germans have had a great tournament here, but they were pipped by France in the semi-final. The French having come through a game Italian team in the quarters. And it's the Danes who will take them on for gold here, having beaten the USA and Turkey en route to the gold medal match.
And this match is going to be incredible. We see they both shot 231s in the semifinals. I think this is going to be the match of the morning.
PJ Deloche, Jean-Philippe Bourges and Sebastian Pinal take on Stefan Hansen, Martin Damsbo and Mads Knudsen. Here they come.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the compound men's team gold medal match.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heißen Sie die Athleten für dieses Goldfinale der Compound-Herren-Teams willkommen.
On target number 2, representing Denmark.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 2 aus Dänemark.
Martin Damsbo. Stefan Hansen. Mads Knudsen.
Well, ranked 4th in the world, Denmark.
And
They take on the experience, the bags and bags of experience in this French lineup. Right, Crystal. You call it. Too tight for me, this one.
There's no way to call this match. This French team, 3 really experienced archers. They've shot together for years, all 3 of them on this team. We've seen them on world stages over and over again. And the Denmark team, we have Martin and Stefan that have shot together again for years, multiple podiums, and they've managed to trade out that 3rd guy and still been successful.
Well, the 4th team member there, Andreas Darum for Denmark, plays coaching role here for his teammates.
And we've seen him shoot with Stefan and Martin before, so he's experienced, knows what's going on up there. So just like we saw with Paige and Tate, he's going to know what these archers want to hear.
And there on the scope, Sebastian Brazer, coaching for the French team. They will shoot first. It's time to find out who's going to take gold in the men's team compound here in Berlin.
That's how you need to start this match. That's exactly what the French needed. Put the pressure on early.
Yes, parfait.
So if you notice, every match we've seen arrows near the top when they're coming over from the practice range.
Allez, Jean-Philippe, tu lises bien jusqu'au bout.
9.
Do you think that has something to do with the fact that the athletes were expecting a little bit more wind here?
I'm not sure. It just, the lighting can be different, changes how you see the target through the peep sight with a compound. Even as the sun goes over the horizon, we'll see the afternoon, they may hit different than they do in the morning.
Small margins, eh?
Nine.
9.
So Martin needs a 10 here to keep things all tied up. But as we've heard, he has the most stages of any archer in history, 51 World Cup stages, just unbelievable. And he does it, he puts it down there, so as we expected, this is a close match. Another 10 out of Sebastian. I was talking to him earlier in the week, and he had a rough start to the season, but made a draw length change and seems to really be paying off for him.
Right, you're going to have to explain that. Did what now?
He changed his draw length. So in compound, these top archers, they really can tell a difference. Even just a 1/16 of an inch is going to change their shot and make them more or less aggressive, make them aim a little better, aim a little worse. So it's that fine tuning at this level that really comes into play.
And in the very, very simplest terms, Crystal, what does an extra quarter inch do to the arrow? Does it fly faster? Does it fly truer?
Really doesn't change the arrow flight. It really changes how the bow feels in your hand and how you're able to execute your shot.
59 out of a possible 60 for the French team, putting down a marker. The Danes can match it, but they'll need perfect 10s.
And previous world #1, Stefan, we haven't seen him much on the circuit this year. He's been in the U.S. doing a lot of 3D tournaments, so this 50 meters might be a little... He's got to remember what it's like to shoot 50 meters in a final stage.
10.
So we saw a little bit of a jump there for him. I'm guessing the pin wasn't in the middle when it went off, but put it down in the middle and kept that 2-point difference.
Après, il faut aussi prendre ses repères. C'est pas grave hein, si c'est pour la colle au milieu à la fin.
Dass Frankreich hier 5 Zehnen schießt, eine 9, das sind dann also 59 Ringe. Und auf der dänischen Seite haben wir aktuell 57.
Well, the teams having a little chat amongst each other. I think the French are looking pretty relaxed, leading by a couple of points. But you mentioned Hansen, usually so solid, shooting a 10 to start with, but then what happened?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. The shot looked good. He looks very surprised, and we see him reach down for a sight. So, guessing something happened. He makes a sight adjustment, so we'll see where this arrow goes. I'm curious to see if this one hits low, if he actually did something and it wasn't the sight, or whether this one finds right back in the middle.
Well, he was looking down the range as though, you know, it was anything but his fault. You know, he was almost blaming the air molecules for that arrow going outside the yellow ring.
Yeah, so let's see where this arrow hits.
Trailing, the Danes will shoot first in the second end.
So solid shot, and he finds the X. So, yeah, something. Maybe his sight was even just a little loose or something that can send the arrow flying in strange directions.
Well, the molecules have realigned for Stefan Hansen. Meds Knudsen up a second for Denmark.
9.
9.
Lige klang 10. Lige en centimeter ude.
Denmark really needs a 10 out of Martin here. Keep that gap from expanding any further.
Just on the line. Marked as a 9. And I fancy that may well get marked up.
Allez, PJ. C'est calme. Ça s'est calmé.
We just see how steady PJ is. Just see zero movement in his bow and his arm. Just solid as a rock up there.
2 heures. Allez, tu l'accompagnes bien, JP. Parfait, X.
Perfect X.
Bien.
Another big wobble there.
Yeah, Stefan's known for that a little bit. He likes to really kind of throw his bow around if it's not dead center when the shot breaks. Ooh. That's going to hurt in this match. You really can't shoot 8s, and that's 2 of them. Can't give the French those points. And another liner we see.
So 2 marked arrows there, the 3rd and the 6th. Well, in fact, the 6th has been marked as a 9. So subject to a measure, the Danes could be up to 55 points in this end. But Seb Pinal shooting first.
And not taking advantage and really closing the door here, shooting that 9.
PJ Deloche. There's a PG for PJ, and there's a JP on the French team. Jean-Philippe Bouche shooting last for the French team.
So we got another liner, 9-star we see. So really shocking here. 3 9s out of the French team to not take advantage of that 8 shot by Denmark. So only a 4-point lead now. That could have been much larger.
I think I'd take it though if I was. I'd rather be in the French box than the Danish one.
That's for sure.
But yeah, you're right. It's a game of two sides. I think people don't necessarily see that first off. The opportunity presents itself every now and again, but it's grasping that opportunity that makes the big difference in this sport.
Definitely. We sometimes joke in these gold medal matches that each team's going, no, you take it. No, you take it. I don't want to. You take it. When we see something like this happen, when we know these archers are capable of shooting 30 after 30 after 30.
Well, the measure concluded. The French get marked up.
And Denmark does not get either of theirs, so it's now a 5-point lead for France.
So you happier now with the French team?
5 points lead.
Yeah, so the opportunity comes up every now and again. Knudsen here shooting that wild 8 to the right. And look, we're being hypercritical here. We're talking about fractions of a millimetre down on the shooting line that results in something going, well, just a few centimetres outside the yellow, but it makes such a difference, as you said. We're so used to them shooting 10s all the time.
Yeah, I think, again, after this week, after the win they shot in, it's not unexpected to see some flyers here, because people's shots have changed, their execution has changed, and they're just tired.
10.
Well, a quick release in the end from Denmark and an X at the start of the 3rd end. We're already halfway through this gold medal match.
9.
Good grouping.
Yeah, their middle teammate is struggling a little bit. I don't know if it's nerves being new to this big stage, but They definitely need Martin here to come out, show his experience, and he does it with an X.
Ça construit.
Sebastian opens up with an X. He's not giving back any points this time.
Puis là, il y avait le regard, le maintien, tout. Allez, PJ. Fort dans l'arc. Juste à droite. Comme celle d'avant, mais un peu plus à droite.
So still a 5-point lead with 1 arrow to go of this end.
C'est bien souple derrière, ça va.
So again, in team round, we really need to watch that clock. French team only has 56 seconds, so they're below that 60-second mark that you like to be at the half. So time could become an issue for them on that second half.
Yeah. Roughly 20 seconds per arrow, right?
Exactly.
But right, you've shot both recurve and compound. Do some archers like 25 seconds? Some only need 12?
Yeah, it's really archer dependent, and that's why it's so important who you have anchoring.
Sådan. 10 klokken 2.
So we see Denmark gave Martin 32 seconds to shoot his last arrow, so all the time in the world. He doesn't need it. He's going to get it off in plenty of time, but again, French has 55 seconds to shoot 3 arrows.
Yeah, three tens for Denmark there, putting the pressure on the French team just when they need to.
So he got a quick shot off, that helps. 40 seconds for 2 arrows, so right back on time here.
Allez, PJ, bien solide. Juste la ligne.
It's a nice shot of his release. PJ's actually designed his own release. I shot it. I love that release. It's very smooth. Great back tension release for anyone out there looking for a new release.
Oh, I can't get into that now, but I am so curious to find out more about that.
So
5 seconds.
Yes.
For Bush. Straight
beautiful 10
down the middle.
So we see 59. Denmark picks up a point. It's now just a 4-point lead for France going into the 4th and final end.
Und die Franzosen haben eine Antwort gefunden. 58 Ringe für Frankreich, 59 für
See,
Dänemark.
uncharacteristic Stefan just kind of looks a little confused out there. He's not sure what's going on, I think.
Well, the Danes, well, they came to play and they brought their A game right at the perfect timing here. 5 out of 6 in the 10.
Yes, exactly what they needed to do, put the pressure on the French. Great group, actually. Besides that one high arrow, it's all just a left and right.
Perfect score. Denmark also 29 points the first 3 and the perfect score the second 3 arrows. Now we have a 4-point lead going into the 4th and final end.
Wir kommen zur letzten Passe dieses
PJ Deloche there in consultation with his team, and the coach there getting involved, Seb Brazer. Young, he's a young coach, isn't he?
Yeah. So France can't let up here with only a 4-point lead. You can't just shoot 9s, you can't just hold yellow. You really need to put some 10s down there to make sure you can close out with the win.
Momentum is a big thing in all sport. Denmark have managed to get it going with them, but can they keep it? Still trailing by 4 points. They'll shoot first in the 4th end.
Just what they needed. They needed an X, and they got it by
Stefan Hansen's very, very high standards. He's had a mare. That 10 will settle him down. Knudsen there, a big twitch as he released.
But got the 9, so he'll be happy with that, I'm pretty sure.
Martin Damsbo is calmness personified.
One of the nicest archers you'll ever meet. Martin truly cares about people, goes out of his way to help other archers, and just a real professional in the sport.
Just on the line, 29 out of a maximum of 30 at the halfway stage for Denmark, keeping the pressure on Deloche, Bush and Pinot.
10, just what he needed. He'll be happy with that. That gives him a little bit of breathing room. If he shoots a 10 here as well, pretty much all they need to do is hold yellow to guarantee the win. And he does, so.
Bags of time as well.
So at this point, they can. It's cruise control. Just hold yellow. That's all they got to do. They don't need 10s to guarantee the win.
JP up on the line for France.
Juste en dessous. Il n'y a pas d'affolement.
My French is not that great, but sounded pretty calm and well done, mate. Nice one.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment. They look relaxed up there again. They know 4-point lead with 3 arrows. Just hold the yellow.
He's back in the middle. Has he left it too late?
I think he's starting to remember how to shoot 50 meters again. No, shooting those foam animals are a whole different ballgame.
9.
Just high and left, but gets another 9.
So again, this arrow's for pride. You want to just put a 10 to feel good about yourself, good about the team, good finish. And he does it. So now they just sit and wait and hope something happens to France.
Well, they need a miracle here.
5 points with 3 arrows.
Another pull there. Is the miracle coming?
He knew it. He was not happy with that shot.
Allez, tu le lâches pas.
PJ Deloche.
Nice and calm and steady. And there's the 10.
So, an 8 is all that's required. Hey, they've shot a couple of 8s in this match, but only a couple. Surely, this is going straight down the center for JP Bush.
And 9 it is.
Straight into the 9. It's the yellow ring. It's enough for the French. They led by a bigger margin, but 2 points is all they need for gold here in Berlin.
Closest match we've seen all day, so not exactly what we expected score-wise, but definitely a close match at the end.
The French experience played its part, I think, in the end, right?
I think so. I think 3 strong, experienced shooters just made the difference. They were calm, they were collected. Never once did they look nervous up there.
And there is confirmation. The French have taken it by 2 points. They are the champions of Berlin in the compound men's team event at stage 4 of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. It was a slightly off day for the usually dependable Stefan Hansen.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a little surprised, but I think, again, shooting those 3D tournaments, they're so different. It's just you're aiming in a very different way, and with compound, the way you aim becomes so important in how you're able to execute your shot.
Well, we thought it was going to be tight. It was to start with, but the experience from the French showed through. Hansen off his A game at the start.
Great face by him there.
And looking down at, blaming everything but himself. But he wasn't really great to start with. And then he pulls it all together at the end. And you've got to say, Mats Knudsen played his part in the game. He dropped 1-8 in the match, but 10s and 9s all round for Knudsen. He played his part, and Damsbo was absolutely super cool. But these three French athletes, well, they stayed calm, they stayed cool. Brasseur at the helm in the coaching role, and it's Pide Deloche, JP Bush, and Sebastian Punel, who will be standing on top of the podium for the men's team compound. High fives all round. Tout sweet. Bonne chance. Right, so, Crystal, tell me about this bespoke-made release. I want to know more.
So, I'm not good with French, but it's the La Attendue release. Again, I apologize. Terrible pronunciation of that. But it's great. I have a lot of trouble. I have very small hands, and I know there's a lot of women and children out there that feel the same way, that release companies just don't listen to us and don't care about us. And that release comes in a small size that fits my hand perfectly. The grooves, it's machined beautifully, and just the attention to detail. You can really tell an archer was involved in designing the release. Magnets in there, just such a smooth and crisp release you get with it. It's really fun to shoot, and I've passed it on to a lot of my students. Now that I'm shooting recurve, I let them borrow my release and try it out, and all of them have gone and purchased one themselves because they love, it's just a great release.
There you go.
And I believe this year he actually came out with a new version of it, so haven't had a chance to check it out personally, but I expect only better things from it.
And is he making some commission out of these releases, or is he just doing it out of the goodness of his heart?
I hope he's getting some commission.
I tell you what, Crystal, let's have a chat afterwards. I see a business opportunity here. Small hands.
Yes.
So we've got design releases for archers with small hands.
Yeah, it's something I've struggled with, and I have expressed, you know, not just releases now with finger tabs on the recurve side. It's definitely a market that's been ignored.
Well, no chance to ignore what's coming next. It's time for the medals for the men's team compound event. Those young ladies will be buying the ice creams later, and we're just about to find out why. There you go, right-hand side. Third step of the podium. Crystal, tell us all, why are they buying ice creams, the USA women's team?
The men beat the women, so that means the women have to buy them ice cream. It's a great thing about compound. It's total cumulative score, so it's easy to see who won between two different teams shooting in two different matches.
Well, here they are, the USA. They'll get their Berlin Bears and their Berlin Bronze. And later on, it'll be a bit of Italian gelato for Braden Gelantine, Chris Schaff, and Matty Sullivan.
Chris Schaff. Matt Sullivan.
He really played his part. I'm really impressed with how Matt Sullivan performs with these two superstars in the lineup.
Yeah, Matt's had a great season. He and Alexis in the mixed team have won multiple medals on the stages this year. Matt is very consistent, very strong team member. Definitely someone you want to have standing next to you on that line.
Silver medal representing Denmark.
Well, it was only 2 points in the end, but Denmark didn't come with their complete A game. Stefan Hansen dropping a couple of points early on, came good in the end, but it was too little, too late. Martin Damsbo, solid, dependable as always. Stefan Hansen, well, brought the A game at the end, And hats off to Mats Knudsen, really playing his part in that Danish silver medal winning performance.
Yeah, and I expect he'll get some more chances out there, more experience, and he'll use this to help him next time.
Bears being presented by Germany's very own Sabrina Stevens. Jean-Michel Cleroy, World Archery board member, handing out the medals. They were absolutely superb. A mini wobble, you have to say, in the fourth, but they'd already done the job in the first three.
Exactly. You're allowed to get away with those when you put that solid lead to start the match.
Full names for the medal ceremony. Jean-Philippe Bouche. There is Pierre-Julien Deloche. Sebastian Pinot is doing so well for the team. All three playing a major part in their march to gold here in Berlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of France.
Congratulations to France. It's now time to hear their anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for our athletes.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte geben Sie all unseren Athleten einen herzlichen Applaus.
Brilliant action here on Compound Saturday. France taking the gold in the men's team event from Denmark, and the USA picking up the bronze medal. Crystal, brilliant start to Compound Saturday here in Berlin.
Yeah, I think we've had some good matches. I can't wait for this afternoon. I think we'll see some tighter matches, hopefully some shoot-offs.
Congratulations to all of the medalists.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Here is confirmation of the results today. Turkey taking the women's team gold medal. France, very strong, taking gold in the men's team. So how did things finish up here for the team events? Well, Turkey top of the pile in the women's compound team from Great Britain, who shocked and surprised with their rise at the moment. USA taking the bronze medal. The men, well, the French were just too strong in the end. And off-form Stefan Hansen, well, took Denmark to the silver medal, and USA taking up the bronze medal, beating Germany. Tough luck for the host nation. Team events for the men and women done and dusted here in Berlin. But there's more to come. At 1 p.m. local time, Central European time, we'll move on to the individual matches and the mixed team matches as well. It's been a brilliant start to the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Thank you for joining us. Do come back later for more on Compound Saturday.